Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzales, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. We just got finished watching the Santa Claus trilogy with Tim Allen.
Have you ever watched it before?
I think I have, but I did not have memory of any of the specifics.
And with how much you laughed, I doubt that you had seen Santa Claus 2.
Santa
Or
Claus,
3, really.
Yeah, 2 was like the funniest thing ever. And this obviously is relevant to today's podcast. But the evil Santa, the robot Santa or whatever, I thought was the funniest thing ever because of how he would like bark at the elves and how he just got so ramped up.
He was so intense.
He was so intense. And it's also funny because it's Tim Allen behind the mask, you know. And anyway, really enjoyed it. And we heard this quote that we thought was perfect for a podcast. So here we are. Do you remember the quote?
No, you do it better.
Okay. Well, I did write it down. And so the quote is, "A problem at work is a challenge. A problem at home is a problem." And I think this was Tim Allen talking to...
His in-law. His father-in-law.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, no, was it his father-in-law? No, it was Frost.
So that
He
was
talking
number
to Frost.
3.
Yep,
So
number 3.
that was number 3. He was talking to Frost and saying how, you know, all the stuff with his in-laws is really an issue. But the work piece...
What he didn't know at the time was he was giving Frost the exact ammunition he needed to help things fall apart pretty quickly.
And as we reflected on it, and, you know, I actually wrote it down when we were watching the movie because it just hit me, because there are so many things that we get wound up in our business that maybe don't deserve that level of energy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then when you think about it, if your spouse is going through a funky time, right? Or maybe somebody in your household is struggling with some health issues. These are things that permeate everything.
Yeah. Well, they're inescapable. Regardless of whether you're at home or at work, they follow you wherever you are because you're just really genuinely worried. So, you know, it's also something that you have to contend with. Like when you're at work, you're wondering who's like in Tim Allen's situation, he's like looking back, thinking about all the seeds that are being planted when he's not at home.
Yes.
You know, and his wife is getting some doubts and just about all their situation stuff, and she's pregnant and about ready to burst, and you know, she's got all these emotions going on. There's a lot going on, and he doesn't see all of the problems that are brewing underneath the surface. He's just dealing with one crisis at work after another.
Yeah, he is.
He's really kind of oblivious to what's going on at home.
Yeah.
And the crises that exist there. So.
Well, you know what it's been recently for me is, you know, our youngest is now almost 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's only just recently that he started sleeping through the night and that you're able to leave him confidently for 8 hours for him to sleep. And before that, I was sitting here watching you slowly degrade over time. And for me, I feel like my role is to take care of you.
Yep.
And then help with the boys. And then you provide the primary support for our boys.
Yeah.
And so if you're not at your best, that's a heavy burden for me.
Yeah.
I've discovered this over time.
Absolutely.
And so to your point, I'm sitting at work or I'm out at meetings, and in the back of my mind, I am worried about you.
Yeah.
And I am worried about your well-being, and in a lot of cases, feeling like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. And here I am just tunnel visioned in whatever problem or difficulty I'm having at the time. Maybe it's lack of sleep and I just don't know how to get any more. And, you know, I look at this little baby and he depends on me for his existence. I am his source of food right now. And it's a lot of effort, but also I don't maybe have the awareness to know that I am being chipped away over time and that my energy is dwindling and I'm not showing up as myself. And I think right now I'm on like day 6 of 8 hours of sleep at night in one stretch. And, it was like day 2 that you're like, oh my gosh, my wife is back. And it was in jest, but also kind of serious too, because, you've really appreciated the role that I've played in our life and organizing our household and doing all sorts of different things that my capacity has just dwindled over time having babies and having all that time involved in taking care of these children and the stress and all the things that come along with that. So when you are able to come in and maybe make some suggestions, like you were the one that suggested, well, what do you think about like letting him go 8 hours at night and having that time be from this to this? And for me, it was like kind of like a no-brainer. And in my head, I'm thinking, why didn't I think of this?
Sure.
So sometimes we do need that help. I stand as that person needing help to see from the outside what is obvious to you, but not even an option for me. Here I am thinking, this is my life for the foreseeable future. Get up, take care of children, have no energy, go to bed so that I can have energy, get back up, don't have energy, and then, rinse and repeat. And it just felt I was just feeling so defeated. And actually a lot of depression was starting to set in for me. There were some things that tipped me over the edge with all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, the saying happy wife, happy life, I think rings true in this situation because I think you really set the tone for our whole household.
yeah,
Like you're the heart of the household.
yeah,
And so when you're not feeling your best, and in this situation, when you're quite literally feeling at your worst,
yeah,
everybody feels it,
yeah,
right? And it's this, I think the word inescapable
yeah,
is what you used earlier, I think is a perfect description of it because, I don't know what to do.
yeah,
And it feels like there's nothing I can do.
right,
The boys, at least our 2.5-year-old, he can definitely feel it,
yeah,
right? And he doesn't know what's up with mom.
yeah,
And our youngest, maybe he does feel it, maybe not. But I think we do experience energy no matter how old we are
sure,
and respond to that. And so it was like this 3-month period where you were slowly deteriorating and it felt like everything was deteriorating.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we did the math when you had made that suggestion to maybe let him go 8 hours of sleep without food because he is totally capable. I feed him at night at 10 and he gets up at 6. When you made that suggestion, you actually brought it up that it's been 9 months since I haven't slept very good because I didn't sleep really good in my 3rd trimester. And our little boy is going to be 6 months in 2 days. So it was an eye-opener to me because it was about the 6-month mark with Lincoln that I felt this way. And that was all postpartum time. So Lincoln was 9 months old at the time. But it just hit me that, oh my gosh, I really am feeling this way because I had been beating myself up prior to our conversation just in my head of, how could I be here? It's only 6 months. He's only 6 months old. How could I be here earlier? I thought I was doing better this time then with Lincoln and my postpartum journey then. So that added to my depression and to the anxiety and stress and all the different things that I had. So, that quote, a problem at home is a problem as opposed to a problem at work is something to solve.
It's a challenge.
Or, yeah, it's a challenge. You can solve that. There are things to be solved. But at home, maybe takes a little bit more effort.
Yeah, I think that there's lots of things that you can easily get upset about with work.
Yeah,
That in the big scheme of things don't matter when you zoom out like 5 years.
sure.
And so I think I just wanted to talk about some of the things that people would see as the worst possible thing that could happen in your business and kind of reframe that and put it in perspective of this conversation, which is, well, you can do something about it.
Right.
So do it. So key team member leaves the business and now you've got lots of other work to do and stress is piling up. Maybe they left with some really important information.
Or maybe they left you a mess to clean up.
Yeah.
You're getting into your books and you're like, oh my gosh, how could this have happened?
Right. It's like, okay.
Whatever that looks like.
So what can you do about it? I mean, you can hire another person.
Right.
You can take the opportunity to look at the systems that they were using.
Right.
And see if they need to be updated.
And see if they were flawed. Maybe they didn't have the support that they needed to actually perform that task at the best and highest level.
Let's say your business incurs some chargebacks or something, right?
Sure.
You get some customers that are really upset. Maybe they leave you bad reviews online. Maybe they do a chargeback. Like these are the worst things that could happen.
Sure.
Well, you could always just make more money.
Sure.
You could again look at the opportunity to see, did we mess up in our sales process somewhere, bringing this person in?
Right. Or your systems in general. Like, did you truly fail to deliver that service that you promised them?
Did you drop the ball?
Exactly. Because when we see something breaking down, and this has actually helped us both in the personal life and the business, when we see something breaking down and not working, maybe it's a bad situation, whatever that result is that's telling you it didn't work, looking at the system or the process as opposed to blaming people is really what gets you out of the problem, as opposed to just having hard feelings and being mad and staying there and having that repeat again. So, there are some issues that we're dealing with right now that kind of out of our control at this point. Have to bring in a professional to help us fix this issue that we're dealing with. And you are the holder of the problem. Originally came from something that you did years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I could take that and be really, really upset with you and really get nowhere and just spin my wheels about it. Or we could look at, well, what can we do now? We are here now. This is the situation we find ourselves in, and what can we do? Can we do something about this? Or do we need to hire somebody to come in and help us? Because this issue actually spreads through our personal life and our business life. And it has been eating up so much of my time. So much inefficiency is tied up in what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah, so to tie that into what's happening here, first I got a plug for a previous episode that we did, which is something about, should you do it yourself or should you hire a professional?
Yes.
We tried doing it ourselves for the last almost 90 days, figuring out this issue, and have now come to the conclusion that it is not something that we can do, that we need to pay the money, a good amount of it, to hire a professional to take care of it and help us get through. And just to restate what you said, this is an issue that also funny how it stresses you in a different way than it stresses me.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode, okay? But yeah, it was like literally taking a mental toll on Rachel in such a way that just, furthering.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, couldn't
There are
sleep.
times when I can't sleep. Gosh, I have this big block of time where I can sleep 8 hours and I can't sleep some of it because I'm so worried about this thing that I just can't find resolution to.
So in this regard, it's funny we're being ambiguous about it, but it's like we're actually using the business in such a way to solve the personal problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and it's something that you can do something about, and I think that's the purpose of this whole conversation is the business-related stuff. You can always do something about it.
Well, and also you can reframe stuff. So we're going to pay money to have this problem solved, but when we look at what we will get back from getting this solved, from just paying this fee, what we will get back is far more than what we will pay. In my time,
Your time.
my mental health, oh my gosh, the fact that we have someone on the case now, oh my gosh, they're going to come in, they're going to fix this problem, help us get to the bottom of it, come to a resolution of some kind that will be far better than the stress that we have going on. So I will be able to work fully in the business and not be stressed. I will be able to work fully in our household and function better as a mom for Lincoln and August and function better for myself and advocate for myself because I will have more of that space available to me. So the finances is not even a thing when it comes to all the things that it's going to give us.
Yeah, I think finances is often tied to the business, right?
Yeah.
It's like you think about business, you think about money, and gosh, when you can solve a problem with money, what a great problem to have.
Oh, I know, right? Exactly. Gosh, spend some money, get the thing solved. Whoa.
Yeah, because we can just go out and we can make more money to replace what we have spent.
Right.
But you can't
But we have to be present in the business to make more money.
make more money.
And to actually help our business grow and to move forward with these goals that we have. And you can't do that when you're tied up emotionally, physically, mentally. So you gotta free yourself up to do these things.
I think my takeaway is, just you got to really protect the household
Yeah.
because then there's no way it can't bleed into the business.
Absolutely.
And I think business is much easier to compartmentalize and leave the business problems with the business. There are challenges you can solve tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And protect your household, protect your energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I just love that you loved that quote on Santa Claus, and we get to talk about it and bring in some of the festivities of this holiday season. Great movie, but also just grateful for your role in my life, not just as a husband and spouse, but a friend and somebody that is looking out for me and watching me and my energy dwindling and just giving me space when I need it, because sometimes I do need it, and I'm pretty stubborn and I want to try it my way and fail before I can accept help. And you know that about me, so you don't push help on me, and you don't come to me and say, hey, I have a solution to your problem. However you do it, it's Yoda. It's just like you come in and you like do mind games on me, but like it's my idea, but you came up with it. So you just really support me in the ways that I need, and the way that you come to me, it's not judgmental. It's not anything that would make me feel even worse about myself, but it's more like, how can I support you? So I really appreciate that.
I mean, thank you for the glowing testimonial, right? Well, definitely include this in the podcast, right?
Ha ha ha. No, I just think it's such a great thing when you can have someone to lean on, whether that's your spouse or it's a partner that you have, or a friend, a parent, an in-law, whoever that is. I hope that, if you don't have that support system, that you can find that support system that can help you through the problems that you're having,
Yeah. So with that being said, we've got the show notes. You can check them out. Check out the description of this podcast. You can go to the website, see the transcript of all this. You can also see the other episodes we mentioned, resources, shout outs, things like that. The blog is a great resource for that. Go over there and check it out. We're going to have a community question at the bottom of that page. You can jump into the conversation in the comments section. Would love to know from you, what is a personal challenge that you overcame somewhat recently that just brought so much peace to your life?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear it. Share that over at babiesandbiz.com. If you haven't already, we're still looking for those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It helps other people know that this is a great podcast to listen to and that they could find the thing that they want as well.
And we have a plug. We are going to go, if you're here local to Albuquerque, New Mexico, we are going to be at the B2B Expo on January 15th. It's pretty much all day. We're going to have this really cool setup in our booth for you parents and entrepreneurs out there that want to come in and compete for the prizes that we have. You should do so. We would love for you to come in. You're going to try to do 2 things at once, multiple things actually at once. You're going to change our baby doll that we'll have there. You're going to take the clothes off, change the diaper, and put new clothes on, all while answering questions. Whoever can do that the fastest is going to get a grand prize. We'll have 3 prizes, 3 tiers, and then a raffle. But I think if nothing else, it's going to bring us together. We'll have some laughs, get to talk, get to chat about what you do, what we do. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We would love to see you there at the expo, January 15th.
January 15th. I think it's 10 o'clock to 6 p.m. at the Albuquerque Convention Center. And we'll get you the details on which booth we are. We're either, I think it's 316 or 319, but we'll talk about that in the next pod. And we look forward to seeing you there if you're local.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.